Shabbat Shalom, Yashala, Shabbat Shalom. Dawadaban Yashala coming out with another episode of bringing other precepts on his Sabbath lesson. I'm going to title this one, The Laws Regarding the Years of Jubilee and How to Keep the Sabbath Holy. The laws regarding the years of Jubilee and how to keep the Sabbath holy. And tonight I'm going to be going into the book of Jubilees for all you unlearned folks that don't use these books. But I'm going to go into the book of Jubilees and bring it out to the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Okay, Jubilees, I'm going to go to the 50th chapter. Jubilee 50 and verse 1, and it reads, "And after this law I made known to thee the days of the Sabbath in the desert of Sinai, which is between Elim and Sinai." Jubilee 50 and verse 2, "And I told thee of the Sabbaths of the land on Mount Sinai, and I told thee of the Jubilee years in the Sabbath of years. But the years thereof have I not told thee, until ye enter the land which ye are to possess." Okay, so the years of Jubilees, he's mentioned it briefly in the Bible, but once we make into the kingdom, he's going to, the Most High, through the Spirit of the Most High, we're going to get to know what are the years of the Jubilees and the Sabbaths. Okay, Jubilees 50 and verse 3, "And the land also shall keep its Sabbaths while they dwell upon it, and they shall know the Jubilee year." Okay, so we know that the kingdom, the Sabbath, is going to be kept, and we're practicing the righteous acts here in Babylon the Great. And they shall know the Jubilee year. Okay, because the Jubilees, the years of Jubilees is tied in with the Sabbaths. Okay, we move on. Jubilees 50 and verse 4. "Wherefore I have ordained for thee the years, weeks, and the years of the Jubilees. Wherefore I have ordained for thee the year, weeks, and the years of Jubilees. They are 49 Jubilees from the days of Adam until this day." Read it again. Jubilees 50 and verse 4. "Wherefore I have ordained for thee the years, the weeks, and the years of the Jubilees. There are 49 Jubilees from the days of Adam unto this day. And 1 week and 2 years, they are yet 40 years to come for learning the commandments of Yahweh, until they pass over into the land of Canaan, crossing the Jordan to the west." Okay, Jubilees 50 and verse 5. "And the Jubilee shall pass by until Israel is cleansed from all guilt of fornication and uncleanness and pollution and sin and error, and dwell with confidence in all the land." Point blank period. Okay, "And the Jubilee shall pass until Israel be cleansed from all guilt of fornication, uncleanness, and pollution, and sin, and error, and dwell with confidence in all the land." Okay? Let's talk about that, at what period in time is that going to take place, that Israel is cleansed and brought back to the bond of the covenant. Give you 2 precepts. Let's go into the Bible. We're going to go first in the Old Testament, Jeremiah 31 and 31. Classic precepts. Jeremiah 31 and 31 reads, "Behold, the day come, saith Yahweh, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and the house of Judah." Jeremiah 31 and 32, "Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day I took them by the hands to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break, although I was a husband unto them, saith Yahweh." Jeremiah 31 and 33, But this shall be the covenant that will I make with the house of Israel. After those days, saith Yahweh, I will put my laws in their inward part and write it in their hearts, and would be their power, and they shall be my people. Okay, so we understand in Jeremiah 31 and 31 about the new covenant, that the Most High is going to put the laws in our inward parts and write it in our hearts, and he would be our power, and we should be his people, as he did during the first Exodus. Okay, let's get a precept on that, precept upon precept, line upon line. Let's go to the book of Hebrews. In the New Testament, Hebrews 8 and verse 8. Hebrews 8 and 8 reads, "For finding fault with them, he said, Behold, the day cometh, saith Yahweh, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and the house of Judah." Hebrews 8 and 9, "Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, but, Salakia, because they continued not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, saith Yahweh." Hebrews 8 and 10, "For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith Yahweh, I will put my laws into their minds and write them in their heart. And I will be to them a power, and they shall be to me a people." Okay, so we're talking about the bond of a covenant. We know that it's the Most High is going to bring us, and he's going to put it in our inward part and in our hearts, meaning our minds. And let's get a time period, and let's find out in the book of Ezekiel. Ezekiel 20 and verse 33. Ezekiel 20, and I'm going to start at the 33rd verse, and it reads, "As I live, saith Yahweh thy power, surely with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and with fury poured out, I will rule over you." Ezekiel 20 and 34, "And I will bring you out of the people and will gather you out of the countries wherein ye are scattered, with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm and with fury poured out." Ezekiel 20 and 35, "And I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, and there will I plead with you face to face." Ezekiel 20 and 35, "And I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, and there will I plead with you face to face." Just as he did during the first Exodus, is going to happen again. Exodus out of Babylon the Great, the United States of America. Ezekiel 20 and 36, "Like as I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Egypt, so will I plead with you, saith Yahweh thy power." Ezekiel 20 and 37, "And I will cause you to pass under the rod and bring you into the bond of the covenant." Okay? So we talked about the bringing the Jeremiah 31 and 31, Hebrews 8 and 8, and the time period that he's going to take us back into the wilderness, as he did in ancient Egypt with our forefathers. Okay? Out of the first Exodus, we're going to see the most face to face. He's going to talk to us in the wilderness, so we know the time period of when we're going to be cleansed from all the sins and errors, as it was mentioned in the book of Jubilees. Let's go back to the book of Jubilees, 50th chapter. Just wanted to give you a couple of precepts on that, going into the to the Bible. "And again, Jubilee shall pass until Israel is cleansed from all the guilt of fornication, uncleanness, Salakia, and pollution, and sin, and error, and dwell with confidence in the land. And there shall be no more a Satan or any evil one. And they shall be no more Satan or any evil one." Again, let's get a time period of when the Most High is talking about there should be no more Satan or an evil one. Okay, this is after the second Exodus out of Babylon the Great. We're going to go back into the Bible, precept upon precept. Let's go to the book of Revelations. Book of Revelations chapter 20, and I'm going to start at verse 1. Revelation 20 and verse 1 reads, "And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit, and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold, verse 2, and he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. Read it again, Revelations 20 and verse 2. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him for 1,000 years. So we know the time period where there will be no more Satan or an evil one, which is after the Exodus out of Babylon the Great, where Satan's going to be bound for 1,000 years, point blank period. Just to give you a time period as to when the book of Jubilees is discussing during this lesson. Okay, let's go back to the book of Jubilees. Jubilees 50 and 5, and there shall be no more Satan or any evil one in the land. Shall be clean from that time forevermore. And we know that evermore is that 1,000 years. That Satan be locked up. So there'll be no more Satan, and the land shall be cleansed from that time forevermore. And we know in time period, again, I gave it to you in Revelations 20th chapter, starting from the first and second verses, that he's going to be bound for 1,000 years. Let's continue. Jubilees 50 and verse 6. And behold, the commandment regarding the Sabbaths, I have written them down for thee, and all the judgments of its laws. We all know it's in the Torah, the first 5 books of the Bible. All the laws regarding the Sabbath and the feast, the holy feast days, the holy days of the Most High. Jubilees 50 and verse 7. And it reads, 6 days thou shalt labor, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of Yahweh your power. In it ye shall do no matter of work, ye and your sons, and your manservant, and your maidservant, and all your cattle, and the sojourners who is with you. Read it again. Jubilees 50 and verse 7. 6 days shalt thou labor, but on the 7th day is the Sabbath of Yahweh your power. In it ye shall do no manner of work, ye and your sons, and your manservants, and your maidservants, and all your cattle, and the sojourner who is with you. Okay? That's Jubilees 50 and verse 7. Now let's go into the Bible and get a precept verbatim reading the exact same words here to prove that this book of Jubilees is through the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Let's go to the book of Exodus, chapter 20, and starting with the 8th verse. Exodus 20 and verse 8 reads, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days thou shalt labor and do all thy work. But the 7th, verse 10, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of Yahweh thy power. In it thou shalt do no work, any work, thou nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. So word for word you see Jubilees and Exodus word for word. I'm reading again, Exodus 20 and verse 6. 6 days thou shalt labor and do thy work, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of Yahweh thy power. In it thou shalt do no work, thou nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. Exodus 20 and verse 6. For 6 days Yahweh made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that is them is, and rested the 7th day. Wherefore Yahweh blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Point blank period. Precept upon precept. Let's get another precept saying in the book of Exodus. Exodus, the 31st chapter. Exodus 31 and starting with verse 12. Exodus 31 and 12 reads, and Yahweh spoke unto Moses, saying, speak thou also unto the children of Israel, saying, verily my Sabbath ye shall keep. For it is a sign between me and you throughout your generations, that ye may know that I am Yahweh who doeth sanctify you. Exodus 31:14. Ye shall keep the Sabbath therefore, for it is holy unto you. Everyone that defiles it shall surely be put to death. And whosoever doeth any work therein, that soul shall be cut off from amongst his people. Exodus 31:15. 6 days may work be done, but the seventh is the Sabbath of rest, holy to Yahweh. Whosoever doeth any work in the Sabbath day, he shall surely be put to death. Exodus 31:16. Wherefore the children of Israel shall keep the Sabbath to observe the Sabbath throughout their generations for a perpetual covenant. Exodus 31:17. It is a sign between me and the children of Israel forever. For in 6 days Yahweh made heaven and earth, and on the seventh day he rested and was refreshed. Okay, so we see in the book of Jubilees, chapter 50, verse 7, precept in Exodus 20, verses 8 through 11, and precept in Exodus 31, 12 through 18, word for word, that we should keep the Sabbath and is holy to Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. Okay, I'm going to go back to Jubilees, verse 15 and verse 7 again. I'm going to read it again. 6 days thou shalt labor, but on the seventh day is the Sabbath of Yahweh your power. In it ye shall do no matter of work, ye and your sons, and your manservant, and your maidservant, and all your cattle, and the sojourner who is with you. Okay, point blank, period. Line upon line, here a little and there a little. The book of Jubilees and various chapters in the book of Exodus. And there's various more precepts in the book of Leviticus and the book of the Laws. The first 5 books, you find precepts about the Sabbath. Okay, let's move on to Jubilees 50 and verse 8. Jubilees 50 and verse 8, and it reads, and the man that does any work on it shall die. Whoever desecrates that day. Whoever desecrates that day. Okay, read it again. Jubilees 50 and verse 8. And the man that does any work on it shall die. Whoever desecrates that day. Point blank, period. Let's move on. It says, whoever lies with his wife. Okay, Jubilees 50 and verse 8. And the man that does any work on it shall die. Whoever desecrates that day, whoever lies with his wife, because there's a false doctrine out there in Israel right now, and different, I guess, brothers pushing that you can have sex on the Sabbath. That's a lie, and that's madness. That's a lie, and that's madness. That's the purpose of me coming out with this lesson, laws regarding the years of Jubilee and how to keep the Sabbath hollow, keeping the Sabbath hollow. You're not supposed to do no type of work, period. But I'm going to read it again so it'll dwell in there and it'll sink in. And the man that does any work on the day on it shall die. Whoever desecrates that day, whoever lies with his wife, that means sexual relations with your wife, or whoever says he will do something on it. You're not supposed to do no type of work. You're not supposed to do nothing. It's supposed to be a day of rest. Thus saith the Lord, thus saith the Holy Bible. That he sets out on a journey thereon in regards to any buying or selling. I'm going to read it again so I can nail it to the wall. Jubilees 50 and verse 8. And the man that does any work on it shall die. Whoever desecrates that day, whoever lies with his wife, or whoever says he will do something on it, that he will set out on a journey thereon in regards to any buying or selling. Because we know it's unlawful to buy and sell on the Sabbath. Just as it's unlawful to have sex with your wife on the Sabbath. You have 6 days to do everything. That includes having sex with your wife and buying and selling. Let's get a precept about buying and selling. Let's go to the Bible again, the book of Nehemiah. Nehemiah 10 and verse 31. The classic. Nehemiah 10 and verse 31 reads, "And if the people of the land bring wares or any victuals on the Sabbath day to sell, that we would not buy it of them on the Sabbath or on the holy day, and that we would leave the seventh day and the extraction of every debt." So we're not supposed to buy and sell. It reads here that if the people of the land bring victuals or wares or anything to be purchased on the Sabbath, we're not to buy, because we're not to buy and sell on the Sabbath. It's a precept to what Jeremiah state, to Jubilees 50 and verse 8. Let's go back to the book of Jubilees. So there's no buying and selling on the Sabbath. Period. Jubilees 50 and verse 8. And the man that does any work shall die. Whoever desecrates that day, whoever lies with his wife, and whoever says he will do something on it, that he will set out on a journey thereon in regards to any buying or selling. I covered that in Nehemiah 10 and verse 31. And whosoever draws water thereon, which he had not prepared for himself on the 6th day. Okay, so scripturally we have a day to prepare for the Sabbath. Any food, any water, anything that you're going to need to get you to the Sabbath, you have to prepare it before the Sabbath. And that is called the day of preparation. Let's go into the Bible and get a precept on the day of preparation. Precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little. Whatever the book of Jubilees, I'm going into the Bible and I'm giving you a precept on it. Let's find the day of preparation. Let's go to the New Testament in the book of Mark. St. Mark 15 and verse 42. St. Mark 15 and verse 32. And it reads, "And now when the even was come, because it was the preparation, that is the day before the Sabbath." Okay, Mark 15 and verse 42. "And now when the even was come, because it was the preparation, that is the day before the Sabbath." So you have 6 days to prepare all your food, whatever you're going to do for the Sabbath. You're not supposed to go out there and draw water in ancient days out of wells or anything. You're supposed to get everything prepared before sundown. We know it's Friday sundown, Saturday sundown, regardless what anybody says about this lunar Sabbath, which is not biblical. But I'm going to stay on topic. Stay on topic. That's for another day. I'm going to read it again. St. Mark 15 and 42. "And now when the even was come, because it was the preparation, that is the day before the Sabbath." Okay, so you have to prepare everything for your Sabbath. Your food, your drinks. So it's supposed to be a day for rest and to keep it hallowed. Point blank, period. Let's go back to the book of Jubilees, 50, I think I left off in verse 8. Yeah, I'm going to read it again, just to make sure everybody's clear on this. Jubilees 15, verse 8, "And the man that does any work on it shall die. Whoever desecrates that day, whoever lies with his wife, whoever say that he will do something on it, and that he will set on a journey thereon in regards to buying and selling." You can't buy and sell on the Sabbath. "And whosoever draws water thereon, which he had not prepared for himself on the 6th day, and whoever takes up any burden to carry it out of his tent or out of his house shall die." Again, I explained it biblically, Mark 15 and 42. You have a day of preparation, even the hours before sundown of the Sabbath, to prepare for the Sabbath. You're not supposed to buy and sell. No sex with your wife on the Sabbath. Okay, let's continue. Jubilees 50 and verse 9. "You shall do no work whatever on the Sabbath day. save what ye have prepared for yourself on the sixth day. I think I reiterated that. Yeah, on the day of preparation, Mark 15, verse 42. Okay, Jubilees 15, verse 9. Ye shall do no work whatever on the Sabbath day, save what ye have prepared for yourself on the sixth day, so as to eat and to drink, and rest and keep the Sabbath from all work on that day. And bless to the Yahweh your power, who has given you a day of festival and a holy day. The kingdom of all Israel is this day amongst their days forever. We know it's throughout your generations. Okay? No work whatsoever. No sex with your wife. No buying and selling. I covered that in Nehemiah 10 and 31. The day of preparation in Mark 15:42. Going from the Jubilees into the Bibles, precept upon precept. Let's continue. Jubilees 50 and verse 10. Jubilees 50 and verse 10. For great is the honor which Yahweh has given to Israel, that they should eat and drink and be satisfied on this festival day. I'm going to read it again. Jubilees 50 and verse 10. For great is the honor which Yahweh has given to Israel, that they shall eat and drink and be satisfied on this festival day. The reason why I want to emphasize this, because I just want to bring it up. It's going to come up later in the lesson, but there's no fasting on the Sabbath. There's no fasting on the Sabbath. Point blank, period. He's telling us great has given Israel that they should eat and drink and be satisfied on his festival day, and rest thereon from all the labors which brought to the labors of the children of men, saving burning frankincense and bringing oblations and sacrifices before Yahweh for the days and for the Sabbath. Okay, I just wanted to bring that point out. He's telling you, he's giving you this feast day, even though it's a holy day and a holy convocation, but there's no fasting on the Sabbath. Okay, so we covered no sex with your wife, no buying and selling. You have to prepare for the Sabbath, just a recap. Okay, you're supposed to rest from all works. Period. Let's move on. 50 and verse 11. Jubilees 50 and verse 11 reads, this work alone shall be done on the Sabbath days in the sanctuary of Yahweh your power, that they may atone for Israel with sacrifice continually from day to day for a memorial, well pleasing before Yahweh, and that he may receive them always from day to day according as thou hast been commanded. Again, these are what you're supposed to. No sex with your wife, no buying and selling. You got to prepare for the Sabbath. What else we covered? Prepare for the Sabbath. The day of preparation, Mark 15:42. Let's talk about keeping. What is it to keep the Sabbath hallow? Okay, let's go over there and let's use the blue letter. Let's use the blue letter to go into keeping the Sabbath hallow. Salakia. Because there's a false doctrine out there that it's okay to have sex on the Sabbath. That's a lie and madness. And where the brothers pushing that need to repent. You're supposed to do none of your own pleasures. Matter of fact, before I go into the blue letter, let's get that precept in the Bible about having sex with your wife. Let's get the classic precept in the Bible, going into the book of Isaiah. Bible, 1 Thessalonians 5:21 says, prove all things. Isaiah, 58 and verse Salakia. I think it's 13. Yep, 58 and 13. Isaiah 58 and 13. And it reads, if thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath, from doing thy pleasure on my holy day, if thou shalt turn away thy foot from the Sabbath, from doing thy pleasure on my holy day. Having sex with your wife on the Sabbath is doing your pleasure on a holy day. You have 6 days. You got the hours before sundown Friday to do what you got to do. Again, it's the day of preparation. Point blank period. Isaiah 58:13. If thou turn away from thy foot from the Sabbath, from doing thy pleasure on my holy day, and call the Sabbath a delight, the holy of Yahweh honorable, and shall honor him, not doing thy own ways, nor finding thy own pleasure, nor speaking thy own words, that they should be made holy to Yahweh. You having sex with your wife on that day, doing any type of work, not preparing for the Sabbath, you know what I'm saying? You're going off. Point blank period. I'll read it again. Isaiah 58 and verse 13. If thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath, from doing thy pleasure on my holy day, and call the Sabbath a delight, the holy of Yahweh honorable, and shall honor him, not doing thy own ways, nor finding thy own pleasure, nor speaking thy own words. I mean, it is what it is. You're not supposed to have sexual, well, no buying and selling. You got to prepare for the Sabbath, the day of preparation. Point blank period. Now let's go and let's get the biblical definition of hallow. We mentioned unholy, hallow and holy. Okay? Using the blue letter. And I'm going to go to a precept in the book of Leviticus to find out. I'm going to go into Leviticus, the 22nd chapter and verse 32. Leviticus 22 and 32 reads, neither shall ye profane my holy name, but I will be hallowed amongst the children of Israel. I am Yahweh, which hallow you. Read it again. The book of the Lord, Leviticus. Leviticus 22 and 32. Neither shall ye profane my holy name, but I will be hallowed amongst the children of Israel. I am Yahweh, which hallow you. Now let's get the biblical transliteration and the definition of the word hallow.
Strong's H 6942. Kadash. Kadash. Second entry. Kadesh. Kadesh.
Okay, it's a Hebrew word 6942, and it's like when we say Kodash in ancient Paleo Hebrew. Yahabashim Yahweh Bashim Rekar Kadash. Rekar Kadash, Holy Spirit. Okay? Kodash means holy. Now let's get the biblical definition. Biblical usage: to consecrate, sanctify, prepare, dedicate, be hallowed, be holy, be sanctified, be separate. Okay, the Sabbath has to be separate from the other days. You have sex with your wife, you have it on all the other days, but this day is strictly for the Most High. Point blank period. Second definition: Kodash, to be set apart, to consecrate it, to be hallowed, consecrated, tabooed, to show oneself sacred or majestic, to be honored, be treated as sacred, to be holy, to set apart as sacred, consecrate, dedicate, to observe as holy, keep sacred, to honor as sacred, hallow, to consecrate, to be consecrated, consecrated, dedicated, to set apart, to devote, consecrate, to regard or treat as sacred or hallow, to consecrate, to keep oneself apart or separate, to cause himself to be hallowed of the Most High, to be observed as holy, to consecrate oneself. Again, Kodash, to be hallowed, to keep the Sabbath holy. No sex with your wife, no buying and selling. Okay? Point blank period. Point blank period. Use your day of preparation, the hours of preparation before the Sabbath to prepare for the Sabbath. Okay? You can't get around this. Let's go back into the book of Jubilees. 50, and I left off at verse 10. Yeah, 50, Jubilees 50 and verse 10. For great is the honor which Yahweh has given Israel, that they should eat and drink and be satisfied on this festival day, and rest thereon from all labors, which belongs to the labor of the children of men, save burning frankincense and bringing oblations and sacrifice before Yahweh for days and for Sabbath. Jubilees 50 and verse 11. This work alone shall be done on the Sabbath days in the sanctuary of Yahweh your power, that they may atone for Israel with sacrifice continually from day to day for a memorial well-pleasing before Yahweh, and that he may receive them always from day to day, according as thou hast been commanded. Okay? So you got to keep it hallowed for Yahweh, and of course, hopefully well-pleasing Yahweh, that you're not having sex with your wife, and you're not buying or selling, you're preparing for the Sabbath, you're doing your works, that he may accept it and receive it. Point blank period. Jubilees 50 and verse 12. And it reads, every man who does any works thereon, or goes on a journey, there's no traveling on the Sabbath. There's no unless you're doing the work of the Most High, which we know we're commanded to go on the highways and the byways, But again, no buying and selling. You should not be leaving your dwelling unless you're doing the will of the Most High. Point blank period. Or tills his farm, no work, whether in his house or any place. And whoever lights a fire is breaking the law, statute, commandments of the Most High on the Sabbath. You cannot light a fire in your dwelling. Let's go into the Bible and get a precept. We're going to go to the book of Exodus, chapter 35, and read it from the top. Exodus 35 and verse 1, and it reads, and Moses gathered and the congregation of the children of Israel together, and said unto them, these are the words which Yahweh has commanded, that ye shall do them. Exodus 35 and verse 2. 6 days shall work be done, but the seventh day they shall be to you an holy day, a separate day, a hallowed day to Yahweh. 6 days shall work be done, but the seventh day shall be to you an holy day, a Sabbath of rest to Yahweh. Whosoever doeth any work therein shall be put to death. Exodus 35 and verse 3. Ye shall kindle no fire throughout your habitation upon the Sabbath day. I'm going to repeat it again. Exodus 35 and verse 6. Ye shall kindle no fire throughout your habitation upon the Sabbath day. Okay? That's how you keep your Sabbath hallowed. No sex with your wife, no buying and selling, prepare for the Sabbath, no lighting fire in your home or in your dwelling, no traveling, unless you're doing the will of the Most High on the highways and the byways, that he may receive your works. Point blank period. Read it again. Exodus 35 and verse 3. Ye shall kindle no fire throughout your habitations upon the Sabbath day. Can't make this up. Like I said, through the Spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, bringing it out, how to keep the Sabbath hallowed, separate, holy. Okay? Let me read them again so it can really. Exodus 35 and verse 1. And Moses gathered all the congregation of children of Israel together and said unto them, These are the words which Yahweh has commanded, that ye shall do them. 6 days shall work be done, but the seventh day shall be to you an holy day, a Sabbath of rest to Yahweh. Whosoever doeth work therein shall be put to death. Exodus 35 and 3. Ye shall kindle no fire throughout your habitation upon the Sabbath day. Point blank, period. It's clear as day. Let's go back to the book of Jubilees. So I'm going into the book of Jubilees and going into the precepts throughout the Bible to prove all things. Okay, Jubilees 15, I was on probably 11th verse. Verse 12, Jubilees 15, verse 12. And any man who does any work therein, or goes on a journey, or tills his farm, whether in his house or at any other place, and whoever lights a fire, or rides on any beast. If you got horses in your land or whatever, you can't ride the horses on the Sabbath. Point blank, period. Or travel by ship on the sea. So there's no traveling, and definitely not a ship on the sea. You're not supposed to be out there fishing and doing whatever you're going to be doing on the traveling on a ship. And whoever strikes or kills anything, as it reads, and whoever strikes or kills anything, or slaughters a beast, or a bird, or whoever catches an animal, or a bird, or a fish, or whoever fasts. I already discussed fasting. There's no fasting. He says on the Sabbath to eat and drink, and keep it holy to him. Prepare for it before. There's no cooking, so anything you eat and gonna drink, you have to prepare on the day of preparation. Let's continue. And make wars on the Sabbath. Okay, these are what you're not supposed to do. Let's read it again. Jubilees 50 and verse 12. And every man who does any work thereon, or goes on a journey, no travel, or tills his farm, no work, whether in his house or any place, or whoever lights a fire, there's no cooking, or rides on any beast, you can't ride no beast, there's no travels by ship on the sea, can't travel on the sea either. Whoever strikes or kills anything, or slaughters a beast, a bird, whoever catches a animal or a bird or a fish, or whoever fasts or makes war on the Sabbath, you're transgressing the law, statute, commandments of the Most High God, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Point blank, period. If you kill anything, you have to understand that. And you go into the laws, the Levitical laws of what's clean and what's not clean. You know, if you kill let's say a lizard or whatever is unclean to you, you know you're unclean until the next even. So if you can't, that's why you can't kill on the Sabbath, because now you profane the Sabbath. Just for everybody to get understanding. Okay, no fasting, no cooking, no kindling fire, no sex with your wife, no buying and selling. Prepare for the Sabbath, Mark 15:42. Can't make it any clearer. Point blank, period. Okay, Jubilees 50 and verse 13. The man who does any of these things on the Sabbath shall die. Can't make it any clearer. The Most High says it right here, Jubilee 50 and verse 13. He said it throughout the Exodus 20th chapter, the 31st chapter. You break his Sabbath, no working, you're going to be put to death. Point blank, period. I covered that in the land that we're going to possess, we're going to keep the Sabbath. And we're going to have to know what are the Jubilees, and know that there's 49 Jubilees from the time of Adam to this time, to summarize this lesson. Again, Jubilees 50 and verse 13. The man who does any of these things on the Sabbath shall die, so that the children of Israel shall observe the Sabbath according to the commandments regarding the Sabbaths of the land, as it is written in the tablets, which he gave into my hands, that I should write out for thee the laws of the seasons, and the seasons according to the division of their days. Herewith is the account of the division of the days. Okay, it was 45 minutes. I didn't want this lesson to be, but I need to cover all these. Summary again. How do you keep the Sabbath hallowed? Again, no cooking, no sex with your wife, no buying and selling, no kindle a fire in your house, no travel unless you're doing the will of the Most High, going on the highways and the byways. You should keep it separate, keep it holy, keep it hallowed. Point blank period. I hope this was edifying. Yasha Allah. Everybody stay Most High blessed. Endure to the end. We know the end, meaning the end of Jacob's trouble, and that we're still out here doing the will of the Heavenly Father. Endure to the end. Stay Most High blessed. And with that, I say Shabbat Shalom.